Now, in fact, all of this stuff I've been showing you here, Angular, TypeScript, the Angular team at Google is actually using Visual Studio Code and TypeScript to develop Angular 2. But we have a little video about that, so let's hear about that from them.
To me, Angular is important because it lets people be more productive and think about what they want to build rather than spending time worrying about the intricacies of the browser.
Some of the largest companies in the world build their web presences using Angular. Companies like Morgan Stanley, KLM, Hawaiian Airlines, JetBlue, and Disney. Angular is a JavaScript development framework that is an open source project from Google built in collaboration with Microsoft. A lot of people are surprised when they hear that we've built Angular with Microsoft. Angular is built with TypeScript, which is a language Microsoft's provided to improve JavaScript.
When we started actually going down the path of building our own language extension to JavaScript, this is how we got started talking to Anders and the rest of the TypeScript team. It really became apparent that we share the same soul, and we've been able to work really well together because of that. Now that we're collaborating with Microsoft on many different fronts, we're able to have a language that fits Angular really well and some really wonderful tools integrations. In working with the Visual Studio Code team, we've been focused on making sure that it understands Angular templates and that you've got a really good experience both in refactoring code in your templates and in finding errors before you run the code.
Actually, many of the Google devs on the Angular core team use Visual Studio Code because it lets them work better together. The code readability and navigation features of the code editor help them be more productive and refactor code faster. As an open source framework, Angular is contributed to by hundreds, if not thousands, of people around the world. Angular simply would not be what it is today without that collaboration, especially with Microsoft.
Thank you. So Visual Studio Code, TypeScript, and Angular teams are really strong partners. The teams actually spend a lot of time together just improving our technologies. And I think it truly speaks to the power of open source. In fact, we actually have a team member from Angular in the audience today. I'd like to welcome Jules Kremer up to the stage. Hi, Jules.
Hi, thanks, Anders.
So, Jules, tell us a little bit about your experience using TypeScript on the Angular team.
Great slide. So yeah, the Angular team has been using TypeScript to write Angular 2, and we found it lets us find bugs and refactor our code faster, which has given us a lot more time to actually make Angular 2 itself better. And we actually discovered we're not really alone. We recently surveyed about 2,000 Angular developers and found a good portion of them, about 45%, are also using TypeScript for their Angular development. So there's a lot to love about Google and Microsoft working together on an open source project.
It's just awesome. Is there anything else great coming in Angular 2?
There's lots of great things coming in Angular 2. It's going to be blazingly fast. We've made it a lot simpler, so it's easier to learn. And one of the greatest things about it is it works not only on the desktop, but also on mobile web and native mobile. So as a developer, you can learn one framework and target multiple platforms. As well as a lot of other features and capabilities. And our collaboration with the VS Code team makes it so that VS Code already understands all of those capabilities and is a great choice of editor for Angular developers.
Thanks, Jules. I just want to say thank you for you guys for being such strong partners. It's really a pleasure working with you guys.
It's been awesome.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. You know, I think one of the things a lot of people have talked about over the last 18 months is kind of the new Microsoft that we're trying to build, which is much more open, much more collaborative. And it's kind of a if you flash forward and kind of to where we are today versus where we've been in the past, having Anders demo an open source language on a Mac with a Google engineer on stage collaborating on a project together, that is sort of a very different world than we've been in the past, and is really kind of indicative of the type of thing we're trying to do really across the company with all of our products. And I think at the end of the day, everyone wins in that situation. Most importantly, all the developers out there taking advantage of all this great technology.